Welcome back. You're watching a special edition of The Truth About Diabetes. And my guest today is Dr. Kim, PhD from MIT. Thanks again for being with us, Dr. Kim. Dr. Kim, is P700 the only natural remedy in the fight against diabetes that you would recommend?
For today's show, I'm glad to introduce two more. The six-flavor tea, which is a traditional Chinese
Six-flavor tea.
In Chinese, I can pronounce Liu Wei Di Huang Huan.
Okay, I'm going to leave that up to you. Okay, six-flavor tea.
Yeah.
Great.
And then another tongue twister. This is from India. Pterocarpus marsupium.
Okay, I'll work on that one as well. So you've mentioned two different remedies.
You can also call it Indian Kino.
Indian Kino.
Oh, that's better.
Okay, let's work with that one. So let's start with the six-taste tea that you talked about. Can you tell us a little bit? You said it's a traditional Chinese formulation.
It has been used in Asia for many thousand years.
It's very old.
Very old. And then it has been recognized as a very effective diabetes treatment by many governments in Asia. It is recorded in most pharmacopoeia of the oldest Asian countries.
And pharmacopoeia is
what? An official recipe for drug making. So if you follow the procedures and ingredients of this pharmacopoeia, basically they give the approval almost automatically. So it's like an official cookbook.
Right, okay, so the cookbook of herbal remedies. So Dr. Kim, for the viewers watching, how do we make six-taste tea?
Basically, it's composed of six herbs, six taste,
six herbs, that's logical.
That's correct. And then they are very cheap. It is very common herbs.
Very available, very inexpensive. Where would I go to? A Chinese herbal
So
store?
if you take the list from the internet site we are showing here.
Right, so stay tuned. We'll be showing that website and you can get the specific information.
Even without taking the list of the herbs, if you go to a Chinese herb store and say, can I get the herbs for six-flavored tea, they know.
So you get the herbs, you go home, what do you do with them?
Basically, you ground it in a home blender.
Or like a coffee grinder, possibly?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 10 grams of these herbs each time.
So 10 grams would be like what, a heaping teaspoon?
A bit larger teaspoon.
Okay.
And then
so almost a tablespoon.
Yeah, and then you put it in almost boiling hot water.
Okay.
10 minutes. Here we go.
So steep it for 10 minutes and then it's ready to drink.
During the break, I made one. Please, would you?
Okay, you've got a sample for me. So this is the six-taste tea that I'm going to taste here. Wow, it tastes like a really fresh herbal tea.
It is a fresh herbal tea.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah. If you take that tea over a long period of time, you get great result.
So there's some long-standing results here.
Every herbal treatments are basically a long-term treatment.
And now I noticed there's a lot of sediment in the tea. Am I supposed to eat that?
Some people find the taste very awful, but you get accustomed to it. But if you don't take the sediment, you can rebrew it. At least.
So once you've consumed the tea, you reuse the sediment again in the next batch?
Yeah, and then you can rebrew it 2 to 3 times.
So this is becoming very economical because you've already said the herbs are extremely inexpensive.
So 1 month supply, you can get $10 and most $20.
Okay, so 1 month supply of a natural diabetes remedy, $20.
$20.
Can't beat that.
And then I'm excited about this formula, not because of its cheap price, but because of its safety.
So say more about that.
Compared with pharmaceutical drugs, this is way safer. It doesn't have any side effects.
Hold on a second here, because this is incredible. What you're saying that this natural remedy, this formulation you can make yourself for $20 a month is safer than a pharmaceutical prescription
That's what
you're
I'm
getting
saying.
from your doctor.
A lot safer. They don't have this herbal treatment have no side effects.
So no side
effects. And then this formula is known to have no resistance developed. So
you don't have to increase the dosage.
No.
So okay, let's talk turkey here. What about scientific evidence?
There's an irony here, because this formula has been known so well. People don't see too much need to prove it again scientifically.
So no economic
benefit
reasons,
is
what I'm hearing.
So patent is impossible because everybody already knows it.
Right.
So because this is not patentable, nobody wants to invest. So because this is too well known, ironically, there's a bit little science about this product.
Right.
But compared with this 6-flavor tea, P700 is very well studied.
Right.
Very
That's
well
what I was going to ask. How does this 6-taste tea compare with P700?
In terms of the quality and quantity of scientific research, P700 is way, way above the 6-flavor tea. And then especially the long-term effect of P700 on diabetes is well established, while the studies on the long-term effect of this 6-flavor tea is still some way to go before very well established.
Sounds like there's just not a lot of money there to support
That's
doing
correct.
further studies.
Yeah, so that's the fate or many herbal treatment face actually. It is not patentable, so nobody wants to put money
But you
there.
have confidence in this 6-taste tea.
I strongly recommend.
Right.
And then the safe and cheap, no side effects.
Safe and cheap and no side effects.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
so
we want to hear.
before these pharmaceutical drugs, I say people should try this.
Right. Okay. So let's talk about the other remedy you mentioned briefly. I believe
Indian treatment.
Indian treatment, Pterocarpus marsupium.
You are doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you. So this is an Indian treatment, and you used a word on the break, Ayurvedic.
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 Ayur means in ancient Indian language called life. Vedic means from Veda, which is a way. So it's a way of life.
Way of life.
Yeah. So it's a word that describes traditional Indian medicine science.
Right. And so how does this, can I call it PMT?
Yeah, Indian
Okay.
Kino.
Indian Kino. So how does this differ from the 6-taste tea in terms of its applicability to, you mentioned type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes?
Yeah, there is actually a very particular reason why I'm quite excited about this Indian Kino, PMT.
Right.
I believe some of their claims about its effect on type 1 diabetes are convincing.
Right. So we've been focusing a lot of the show on the type
2 diabetes.
diabetes.
Yeah, because P700 is mainly for type 2 diabetes.
Right. Okay.
But even though
so the impact on type 1.
Yeah, even though we say P700 is for type 2 diabetes, some desperate type 1 diabetes patients actually use P700 diabetes.
And?
So far, no person has been cured of type 1 diabetes.
Nobody has become, as you say, normal.
Yeah, so there are many, 70% of the users become normal when they have type 2 diabetes.
70% type 2.
But no one with a type 1 diabetes became normal.
Right.
But they succeeded in reducing their daily insulin requirement by 60 to 70%, which is quite
significant.
good. Yeah, but the is significant, but not normal.
So it doesn't do the same as it does for type 2.
Yeah, P700 is basically for type 2 diabetes.
Right. Okay.
But,
so let's talk about this PMT. You were saying it has an impact on type 1.
Claims of this Pterocarpus marsupium on type 1 diabetes, I have reasons to believe them. So
significant health benefit to type 1 diabetes.
That's correct. That's why I'm excited about this treatment.
Okay, so I'm hearing what you're saying about PMT and P700, and what would happen, Dr. Kim, if you blended the two products together?
That's a great idea. I don't regard these two products as competitor. They are just strong in its own area. But combining these two products, they are both safe. They are both helping greatly. Actually, a leader of Indian Diabetes Association advised me that, Dr. Kim, why don't you combine these two? Actually, that's
a good idea.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for future medical developments, potentially.
But I'm excited by this both treatment.
Right. So Dr. Kim, you've mentioned 6-taste tea, PMT, and we've talked about P700 as well. Are there many other herbal formulations out there?
As I said, there are more than 2,000.
More than 2,000 individual herbs, and you talked before about how a lot of these herbs are actually toxic. So I'm curious then, so how can people then get more information on these herbal formulations that we haven't covered in the show today?
Before it was very difficult. Before there were not many informations, but these days situation improved. There are a lot of available already, quite available in the internet. So in the website we are introducing at the end of this show, we refer to those websites,
Right.
and there are many very understandable, very well-written papers how to use. Also, I mentioned this 7 criteria.
Right, you
with
mentioned that earlier in the show.
with
Right.
which you can guide through this 2,000 herbal treatments. We have to avoid certain widespread myths. All herbal treatments are safe? No. There are many fatally dangerous herbal treatments.
So this doesn't get a lot of airtime, what you're talking about, because it seems to me to be a widespread understanding that naturopathic or all herbal, all natural formulations are quite safe and benign. Well, you're saying that's not
But
true.
that's not true. So what is not true either is that it is also wrong to believe that all natural treatments are not effective. That's also wrong. Some natural treatments are very effective, very good, but it's also wrong that all natural treatments are safe. No,
Right,
some are
right.
very dangerous.
So you need to approach this topic with
Common
some
sense.
common sense and do some research. You're saying there's lots of websites. You're also mentioning that at the end of the show, we're going to be showing the website that you can go to for more information specific to what you're talking about. So very interesting. So you're not a medical doctor.
I'm not a medical doctor.
And you're not here giving medical advice.
I'm not giving medical. I'm today giving a view on the recent exciting development of this natural treatment on diabetes.
Because there's a lot here to talk about, and it's been very exciting.
We are very excited about this recent
Absolutely,
development.
I can see why. Now, the point that you have made many times during the show, and I think it's an important point to conclude on, is that it is essentially that you don't reduce or outright stop taking your medication that's being prescribed to you without consulting with your physician. In fact, consult with your physician.
That's very important. I cannot emphasize too much. Any reduction or suspension of prescription drugs should be consulted with your physician prior to the reduction of suspension. Otherwise, it can be fatally dangerous.
So talk to your physician first. Don't just stop taking your pharmaceutical drugs, even if what you've heard on the show today has you very excited. Don't just stop. Talk to your physician. That's great. So, Dr. Kim, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been so interesting.
Thank you very much.
Again, you've been watching The Truth About Diabetes. And if you have any questions, please visit the website that's listed on your screen. Dr. Kim, your interest and desire to help in this way gives us all so much more hope for diabetes.
Thank you very much for
thank you
inviting me
again
here.
for being my guest on the show
Thank you very
today.
much. Yeah.
To our valued customers of P700 and its other brand names, many of you have experienced the incredible benefits of P700. Unfortunately, we know that many of you have not. Please remember that the effects of P700 vary individually. Since P700 is an all-natural herbal supplement, the results may not show for a period of time. For mild diabetics, the results will begin to show 1 to 3 months from the start of usage. For moderate and severe diabetics, the results will show in 3 to 6 months and 6 months to a year, respectively. Also, if you are above average in weight, the effects may take even longer to appear. To receive the full benefits, it is important to continue using P700 for at least 6 months, even after beneficial results have appeared. If you have not experienced a drop in your blood glucose level, if you are above average in weight, or if you have had diabetes for longer than 6 years, you may want to double the dosage. Remember that P700 is a safe food product, therefore increasing the dosage will not cause any side effects. P700 and its other brand names are mainly for long-term improvements. Rest assured that these changes are taking place, so please be patient. And also, always consult with your physician before you make any changes to your prescribed medications.
There is a natural herbal supplement that the Asian Diabetes Association has called the final cure for diabetes. It is the absolute cure. It's an herbal remedy. It's taken for 3 months approximately, and it will dramatically reduce or eliminate the need from any insulin shots, and it can cure diabetes, type 1 and type 2, in the majority of cases.
Hi, my name is Abby Kennedy and I'm 55 years old. I live in New Westminster, British Columbia. I have an immunity problem. It's called hypogammaglobulinemia. I've been taking L-Eotin teas now for 25 days. And the sequence that usually happens is I have 21 days before my intravenous, and the last 5 days I usually don't participate in any sports. I'm not able to do much. But since taking the L-Eotin tea, it's been great. I've been able to not even notice a difference. Instead of at 2 o'clock on Saturday, just losing all my energy before my intravenous, I just keep going. I kept going last time for 4 extra days. L-Eotin's been very effective for me, and I'd like to recommend it to all those who have a problem like I do.
As you can see from this plate, this isn't what you should be eating if you're a diabetic. Now, yesterday I had that plus a big piece of chocolate cake. It was my grandson's 5th birthday. Now I had that and said, okay, I'll have to have a needle. 2 hours later, I was 8.4. Now 8.4 is nothing. I would have said 12 to 15. I contribute this to, or attribute this to the L-Eotin. And today, this morning, when I got up, I do my regular test this morning. This morning, 6.9. It's unbelievable. And I still think the L-Eotin is doing it for me. Now, I haven't been taking it for 5 weeks because I've had another external sickness I've been taking antibiotics for, so I don't have it, just for the conflicting results from the two things. I want to get back onto some L-Eotin because it is proving positive.
I want to recommend it to many people who are suffering from diabetes, especially the diabetes type 2. They better take it and control their sugar level with L-Eotin because it's long lasting and it helps also in the immunity system too. And